everyone, and welcome to another Body and Soul Expo podcast. I am your host, Bruce Starr, and together with my wife, Lauren, we have created an inaugural large-scale health and wellness event called the Body and Soul Expo, and it's going to take place Sunday, October 26th at the beautiful Palm Beach Gardens Marriott. It's going to be an incredible event. We expect to have more than 60 vendors, many of whom you will meet right on this show. And at this event, if you want to be a speaker at the event, because there's so little room, even though we have 3 breakout rooms, you need to be a vendor first. So we hope to hear from you. We just have a few tables and booths remaining. So go to the Body and Soul Expo.org website, spend some time there, and see if you're interested in being a part of the expo. See if what you do fits into the few remaining categories that we're still looking for. And so this podcast showcases the talents, the experiences, and knowledge of some incredibly wonderful vendors and who will also be speakers at the expo. Today we have another very special guest. Fred Stahlman is an internationally known and respected craniosacral therapist and a lot more. I'm going to ask him to explain all that. I couldn't possibly do that. We've known Fred for several years now, and it's an honor, Fred, that you are going to be participating and being at the Body and Soul Expo. Welcome to the podcast, Fred.
Well, thank you, Bruce. It's an honor to be a part of your inaugural organization. This was fantastic. As I said, I've been at this craniosacral game or philosophy of treatment for a long time. I've been doing this for about 39 years. I met John Upledger in January of 1986, and he transformed my entire life. Up until then, I was a manual physical therapist, and I felt everything I was doing was good, but it was still Band-Aid. So with the craniosacral therapy, it's all based on the principles of structure and function are interrelated. The body's a unified whole, and there's a divining presence or a inner wisdom, inner physician, if you will, that controls the healing process. And our job as craniosacral therapists and practitioners is to tap into that. So it is the first approach I've ever encountered that is patient-directed as opposed to therapist-directed. And we're always working with the whole person, mind, body, spirit. We evaluate the body for the craniosacral rhythm, and we look for asymmetrical patterns or a lack of quality or an interference in the normal amplitude of the rate. So these are our parameters, and we're scanning the body, using the body's own energy sources to kind of self-correct. And it's just been an amazing process for me. I've never met a process that is so transformative. And I've had a lot of tools on my tool bag. Obviously, we've all grown and changed over the years. My specialty is primarily craniosacral, visceral, lymphatic work. I've been teaching for the Upledger Institute, which is right here in Palm Beach Gardens, since 1988. So I teach the first and second level classes, and I love to watch the light bulbs go on and the eyes sparkle, and they say, oh no, then aha. And they finally get the process of what this is all about. As I said, it's an inside-out treatment, and I think it's the best thing I've ever encountered that turns down the sympathetic nervous system, and most of our patients are living in a frequency of fear or anxiety or depression, especially post-COVID. So it really taps into the body's ability to self-correct by dampening sympathetic function and enhancing the parasympathetic. So all that sometimes makes the work look very magical. And it is magical. It's certainly not magic because it's nervous system driven. And it takes the art and the skill of the practitioner to move from just being a technocratic, robotic administrator of the cranial work to really dive into the art and depth of the work. And so, as I said, I've been doing this for 39 years, every time I treat someone, every class I teach, I learn something new. And it's as it goes, the more you know, the less you really know about the whole healing journey. And so what I love about the craniosacral therapy that's taught by Upledger is he always felt that the body was responsible for the healing. So it's always an inside job. The therapist is the facilitator. And so I fully embody that. I am always in gratitude when I see people change and transform and, have the courage to be vulnerable, because that's what it really takes to shed the armor of our defensive posturing, which we develop probably by the age of 3 to 5, and then we kind of manifest it the rest of our lives until we say, this doesn't work anymore. And that's the magic we wait for, is that magic question, why do I keep hurting myself? That opens up the possibility of exploring belief systems, and that will take us into the world from craniosacral therapy into the somato-emotional release world, which is just the next level of transformative work that's all associated with craniosacral therapy. And it requires the foundation first before you can go to the top of the tree. So we're looking for the roots, and we look for the expansion into the whole mind, body, spirit, and consciousness. So that's the essence of how I would see craniosacral therapy.
That sounds amazing, Fred. And we're so pleased that someone like you is right here in our area. And Upledger, of goodness gracious, is right here in Palm Beach Gardens. And
Mhm.
at the Expo, you and Upledger will be right next to each other. People are going to be blown away by having that combination at our Expo. So, Fred, if someone comes to your booth or if someone comes to see you, what can they expect to happen? Uh, are they sitting in a chair? Are they laying down on a table? And what
Sure.
exactly might you be doing?
Well, I'm certainly like to give demonstrations. I'm not going to be charging for them. I like people to experience the work. I'll
Beautiful.
have a treatment table, and we can do 10, 15 minute, 5 minute palpation. We can let people feel the cranial rhythm on other people. And so we can do a little teaching, a little experiencing, and just hopefully start sensing the essence of the work. Not
And
there to sell anything except possible transformation.
that's beautiful, Fred. I mean, it just, you know, hits me right here knowing that, again, such talented people are all willing to give of themselves at the expo just to teach people, just to
Mhm.
introduce people to things that they might not have really ever heard of before.
Right.
And I think that that's incredible. And you'll also be speaking, and will what you speak about at the expo, could you just tell us a little bit about that? Will it be any different than what you just stated to us?
Well, I think it'll be very similar, but I think we'll take a look at the roots, the foundation of where craniosacral, how it evolved, and just the various nature of the cranial rhythm, how we're feeling it, how is the body generated, and how does it relate to all the other body rhythms, such as respiratory, cardiac, lymphatic rhythm, and even circadian rhythms, which is probably the master rhythm that controls everything. There's some tremendous new research in the cranial field done by the Upledger Institute, especially in Europe, where they're really looking at this whole neurological mechanism for generating the cranial rhythm and the importance of it. So we'll be sharing that, answering questions. I love questions because that opens up the doorway to deeper understanding. So it'll be a mixture, talking, questioning, maybe some demonstrations, but mainly the foundational basis of what craniosacral is all about.
That's excellent because when we put your podcast with you as the the center, we'll encourage people to below where the podcast is shown to ask questions,
Absolutely.
and I'm sure you'll because I know you've been very supportive. I know you've been commenting and acknowledging everything that you're seeing about the expo, and people can expect to get straight answers from you, directly from you, when you ask your questions about cranial sacral. Because and there's so much going on in the world. One last question I want to ask, and I would love to know more about Upledger. Can you explain Upledger in general so that people can look into more into that and finding out more about Upledger?
Excellent. Dr. Upledger was an osteopathic physician, graduated from Michigan State with a biochemistry degree. He was a scientist. He got involved in the Kirksville College of Osteopathy, which was founded by A.T. Still, who was the founder of osteopathy. And then one of the major students was Dr. Sutherland, who developed cranial osteopathy. And Dr. Upledger realized that the power of this work, but yet he had a hard time recruiting other osteopaths that really wanted to do the work because they were really climbing the professional ladder to be more allopathic as well as incorporating their osteopathic skills. So, out of desperation, in a way, he started reaching out to non osteopaths, teaching them how to do this work. Uh, he moved from Michigan. He was in Tampa, St. Pete for a while. And then he moved over here. He was brought in, I think, by the Unity Church. And then he finally moved to Palm Beach Gardens, and his office is uh, right on Prosperity Farms Road. They bought it in 1985. The building is still there. The entire administrative staff of the Upledger Institute, which is an international corporation and the biggest complementary healthcare organization for teaching in the world. Uh, it is just amazing their outreach. Almost every country, every major country has an affiliate of some kind. So, and it's all run here in Palm Beach Gardens. And unfortunately, it's still a mystery to too many people, even though it's been here since 1985.
Wow.
I had the privilege of working at the clinic for a while. Uh, and then now my office is in Jupiter. Uh, and, I owe my entire existence, I think, to the Upledger model and to the teachings of Dr. Upledger. He was my mentor for all of this work. Um, so to me, it's all about empowering people to be able to take charge of their life and make changes necessary if they're choosing to move forward in transformation.
Goodness
If they
gracious.
don't
Isn't
choose to
that
do
what
that, that's okay. It
that
can be good for just fixing little problems. It can be look for big problems. So it's all geared to the patient's goals for treatment and where they want to go with this work. It can be very structural or it can be extremely spiritual.
isn't that what we're all looking for? And I think you being at the expo and seeing hundreds of people at your booth, I think this expo, it's really going to be hard for people to even visualize the effect that this expo is going to have on our greater Palm Beach County community. It's going to be incredible, and it's going to be because of people like you. And I live so close to Upledger. I'll probably call them and want to stop by and get a little tour.
There you go. And I want to appreciate, express my appreciation to you and Lauren for breaking out and doing this. We have so many amazing complementary practitioners in this area. Uh, and it's just a great way to share with the population who everyone is and what is really offered in this area. It's really quite a paradise, not
Yeah,
only weather-wise, but also in opportunity for the healing processing.
it sure is. And thanks for the kind words, Fred. And thank you for being on this podcast. Another incredibly informative and interesting podcast all about the Body and Soul Expo. Fred, we'll see you again soon.
You will. I'll see you pretty soon.
We'll
All
find
right.
a way.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Thank you,
much,
Drew.
Fred.
Be
Take
well.
care. Bye bye, everybody.